Good evening, everyone. It's Shelley Johns here from Gympie. I'm a Herbalife nutrition coach. So next week is my 28th anniversary, so that's pretty exciting. Plus, there's so many people on this call that have been in the company for more than 25 years. And I think I worked out when we have Maureen, Jennifer, Irene Khan, myself, Rosemary, and Jan. It's like over 150 years experience just on the call. How cool is that? So it's pretty exciting. So, and I think we're more excited now than we were when we first started, I'm pretty sure, especially after this amazing event. So we've just got back from the 2019 Spectacular, which was in Adelaide at the Exhibition Centre, and it was a pretty amazing event. So I'm just going to go through, I'm just going to mute you, Steve. So we're just going to go through some highlights, plus you're going to hear from some people that were there as well. So let's just click through. So this was where it was at the Adelaide Exhibition Centre. This is kind of what it looked like, which is really cool. And Adelaide's just beautiful. This is where they had the party on Saturday night, and it really was spectacular. Such a high level training, and they put on a fantastic event with lots of great speakers. So as you entered into the exhibition centre, there's this great place where you can basically register, and you could get your different merchandise, goodies, and things like that. You got a lanyard with your your team where you were in your levels. There's different things here for your merchandise. Lots of really cool stuff, bottles and clothing and fitness wear. There's like a whole bunch of stuff, which is really cool. There was all these really great panels around the centre as well, with different pictures on them where you could take your photos. There was a photo booth, and a lot of people just mingled here until we went into the main arena to train. So it was pretty exciting. Jennifer, did you want to add anything about the setup and what you thought about it?
Well, I just thought it was fantastic, especially when I went later and I saw all the people buying stuff for the HFF, or the HNF, and but it was well set up. I think the staff did a great job in trying to make it as perfect as possible, and the gear was good. I think people really loved the shirts and everything. I didn't hear anybody saying anything negative's not even the right word, but they all were really positive about, the whole thing. The event generally, I think it was just well put together when we heard from the people, the rising stars, and, hearing from how they do their business, what they're saying, all the different, legs of the chair, the way they go about it, that I think was very well done. To give people an idea of how people, different areas, how they came into the business, where they are, how they're doing the business. It really motivates us when we hear, how they did something, how they go about it.
Excellent. So thank you, Jennifer. So this was really well put together. I think that the registration process flowed so well this time. I think they've really, they've got the shake bar. They just had everything set up so well, including the silent auction for the Herbalife Nutrition Foundation to raise funds. And I just thought that was really cool that everything was just it was set up really well. They had like a soccer thing where you could kick the ball and get different photos and just have a bit of fun as well as you entered into the exhibition centre. So basically we started off on Friday with our welcome breakfast, which was beautifully set up with tables and these platters of fruit and yummy shakes as well, so that we could hear from our guest speaker, who was Chairman's Club member with 36 years in the company, Dan Waldron, got trained by Mark Hughes. It was fantastic. I found him very easy to listen to, and really just being quite honest and authentic, and really giving you what you needed. It wasn't sugar coated or anything, and I just really loved that. So it was great to came out and signed all the books and everything, and he really took his time and shared, he shared personal development, he shared his story, he shared so many things. So it was nice to have some breakfast and then sit down at the table with everyone and spend some time with people that we don't often get to see because we're all from different areas. So it was really lovely. So here's a photo here from the morning session, and obviously some photos with Dan. And it was just a really fantastic way to start the event. So Irene, what did you think of the welcome breakfast?
The breakfast itself, the fruit was delicious, and I'm not a fruit person, I have to say. It was really tasty. I enjoyed the breakfast, but I particularly found the day's training absolutely amazing. The things that Dan covered, as you can see there on the screen, the 5 major ingredients that could change your life, you could use them in anything in your life. And that was something that I noticed about his training. It was not just about Herbalife, it was about life as well. And he's got a lot of wisdom, and not only in Herbalife, but in life too. So he was very open and shared that as well. So I really found that day, I could have gone home at the end of the day. I had already got so many nuggets.
Yes, I actually felt like that too. It's like, wow, that was such a great day. I want to go back home and put it all into action. It was just a day.
Absolutely.
Shelley, what I thought was wonderful was that, he did actually share a life. He's been in the business a long time. So we often think about, how our business is going, today, what's been happening. But, this Herbalife life, it covers such a lot of years. And he talked about how he was really gung-ho and not so patient and, not patient with his distributors, and got frustrated with them if they didn't turn up to events, and because he just could see it so clearly, wanted to go. And, he taught about how he learned along the way, how he had to learn that everybody's different, and appreciate everybody, for the journey that they're doing, and often see them grow in different ways along the way. And everything he did was pure. Mark Hughes and Jim Rohn, it was everything we've heard in the past. But he put that same training that somebody else could do, just straight out Jim Rohn, but he put it in his context of his story and his life's journey in the business, and even talking about the frustrations like everyone has of, the family problems, the kid problems, the teenage problems, the domestic problems that don't go so well. But, we're all going to have them, but, you have to get out each day and you still go on, and then down the track you say, wow, that one's gone, this too shall pass, and next. But then you look back and you start seeing, like he talked about the whole background of washing their hair in the sink, which wasn't so unusual for someone from my age, because, when I saw my granny and people like that, it was quite normal for houses for people to wash their hair in the sink or something like that. So different to everyone having everything on tap today. And often we think of Americans being rich all the time. Now, there was a lot of poor, struggling, families living in a 1-2 room apartment, and life, wasn't, that cushy, but they learned really good values. So, and that was another thing that made him want more. He said, I'm willing to work. I've been taught to work. My father taught me to work. And so you tell me what to do. And I think that's what distributors want now. Tell me what to do so I can go out and do it. And that's what I loved about everything he had to say. He said it in a real way, real people, and just, told his whole story the way it was.
Excellent, definitely. And I'm so excited Jan's on. Oh, do you have to tell me how happy I am that you're on this call, Jan? So we waited as well. We've only just started, so that's awesome. So I'll definitely get you to share as we go along. So thank you. After Dan, we had Dr. Dana Ryan, which I found she was just loved her information. I wrote like crazy. I took heaps of photos. Really excited about the way she presented the information, particularly in regards to not just weight loss, but to sports nutrition and fitness, but also healthy aging. I just loved all of that because I think it really fits in with the way that we can present the products to people. So I just put a few snippets on. I think the things that really drove home for me was that the type of testing and the quality control and making sure that our products are the best, and they Herbalife puts a lot of money and time into making sure that everything that is in the products is on the label, and everything that's on the label is the products. And she said that doesn't happen with all products out there and all companies out there. She said you need to know this. And also the amount of blending process that Herbalife goes through. They've got an amazing blending process so that the quality of the product's the same all the way through the whole can, And that doesn't also happen with a lot of products. Sometimes some of the ingredients drops down to the bottom, so it's not even all the way through. So these are things that we need to be aware of. So I just really love the way that she presented the information, and that, you know, basically we all have an inner athlete, whether we're gardening, whether we're playing with the kids, doing a spin class, doing yoga, whatever it was. Yeah, we all fit into that, and that we all actually need the same nutrition, no matter what level of activity we have. Even if we're an elite athlete, we still need the same sort of nutrition, maybe a little bit differently at different times, but we still need the same nutrition. So I really love that. I'll just see if I've got a few more slides. I'll just go back. So who would like to share about Dr. Dana? I just loved her trainings.
Shelley, it's Jan here.
Yep.
So you're just saying about the blending of the powders, and it, you know, obviously it brought back some memories, because when I first started the original Formula One, and it really rings true that obviously new technology blends the powder so much better. Because in our day, Jennifer, you'll remember this as well, you had to sort of draw a line about a quarter of the way down the can, and you'd have to take that amount of powder out of the can and put it into another sealed container. So you had more space to be able to shake the can, and you had to shake it every single time. So obviously these days, the blending of the powder is much, much improved, because we don't have to do that anymore. So that used to be a funny thing, that we'd have to get customers to draw the line around, or we'd draw it for them.
Wow.
And I think, Shelley, it'd be a really good idea if everyone took a photo of the BSCG, you know, circle stamp there, and the NSF, and just keep it in your phone, put it on a little card, and keep it in your pocket, so that when you get people who say, oh, what's in this, what if, whatever, say, hey, you know, this is like the greatest symbol in the world. Athletes, Olympic athletes, need to see this, you know, before they can use any products. So if we're covered with that, it's going to cover anybody. It's going to have the greatest ingredients in it. Just little things like that are going to be the things that win over a customer if you've got that instantly. And you can easily take a photo and make a little card of it and keep it with you all the time.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I actually, a lot of things that the way she put it, you know, you think about hydrating and people say, have you had enough water, you know, but when she actually showed the graphs of how, you know, athletes who hadn't had the hydration, you know, their efforts minimized, you know, with not having the right hydration over a certain times, when having the hydration perfectly, you know, would help them endure, keep going, keep, you know, working. And when I was on the ride, you know, they're forever saying, have you hydrated, have you hydrated? And of course, you know, so often Jan will say to me, you've been drinking water, because I'm not so good at that one either, you know. But it really sort of brought it home to me more and more, instead of hearing on the ride to everyone, you hydrated. But she gave some facts that made you think more like, well, guess it's no wonder I feel tired at this time, or feel tired at that time, because we hear things and we often need a few more words to make it really clear in our heads, all of us.
Absolutely.
The other thing is, Shelley, she did give us a site, a website, that's nsfforsport.com, and you can go on there and you can look it all up.
Yes.
That's something that for those who have athletes that they're not quite sure what you're saying, you can always go on there and have that information, so you're clearer than just looking at the badges, you know. That can help a lot.
Yes, well, I think the Fridays training was all about the sports nutrition industry, and it's actually growing faster than the weight loss industry. So even, yes, we've got a major obesity problem, and that's getting worse, and people need help with that. She was saying that the sports nutrition side, especially in Australia, being such a sporting and active country, it's actually growing faster. So we're really like the country that a lot of Herbalife looks at to lead the way with the sports nutrition. So that was really exciting. And I just love the way she set up the whole, you know, sports nutrition industry, and that, you know, athletes don't often know. They usually don't know much about nutrition at all. And there's so much information out there online, a lot of fads and things that aren't backed up by facts and research like Herbalife has, and people get confused. So she said they need that distributor difference, the one that's going to come in and say, you know, how can we help you? What's your goal? Let us help you through the whole journey. And that's really an amazing difference that we can offer. So I've got some more with Dr. Dana, so I'll continue through and we can have a chat as we go along. Obviously,
Shelley, can I just quickly say, with Dr. Dana, they've said she's going to come out and do, the doctor weekends, and that we've been having in the past. And so, this will be great, because she talked about how she was talking even that day, on different days she talks to, athletes from, the galaxy, etc. She has personal relationship with them about exactly what they're taking, their hydration. So in knowing this, when she is going to come out on a tour, these are things that you can get her information. You can go to sports clubs, even local little, the teenage football things in the park, etc., and target people there to come and listen to a doctor who is the doctor for LA Galaxy.
Yep. I was definitely thinking that, like, the opportunity and that great information that she had was just fantastic. So yeah, I can't wait. I hope she does come for a wellness tour. That would be amazing. So on the Saturday, obviously there was the qualifiers evening. So Jennifer, did you want to maybe go through what happened at the qualifiers evening? Because I didn't have any photos for that.
Actually, it was at the night of the castle. You're talking about the particular night, yes. Yeah. It was absolutely amazing. And can I tell you that I found that castle. I actually tried to recruit a girl at the last spectacular that I met on the plane, and so invited her to the hotel for some drinks and was hoping to recruit her. I never did recruit her, but we became friends, and she told me about the castle and that her cousin, was managing it and, had this big function centre for weddings. And so I sent all the details to Elizabeth F. Demosky, and so she went out and looked at it, and that's how we ended up being there. And it was awesome, built by some people in the past, like a castle, completely renovated. It was really luxurious. It was something like out of Italy, the way it was all done up. Beautifully done. They had the band there. The band wasn't my thing as far as noise. I like to talk to people, but nevertheless, everyone was having a great time dancing. But everyone dressed up in their finest, their evening dresses, and it was just absolutely top class for those people who qualified. They got every bit of glamour out of the evening, so they couldn't feel shortchanged or anything. And it was a picture of things to come. When you hear about go to a chairman's holiday or president's team holiday or whatever, these people are seeing along the way, wow, I'm doing something. I'm going to a place I never thought that I would be in. And, and these are things that are just going to make people feel valued. And they are valued because, they work so hard, and they make more friends. They've got more reason to do the business. And, it was a glamorous, beautiful night, excepting I couldn't get any phone reception out there in the bush. And on the way, I've got to tell you, we saw koalas in the trees. That was another little special, when we were going down through the valley, and Lynette said, hey, there's a koala. And the guy said, yeah, they're all over the place here. But it truly was an amazing, sparkling, European, Monaco type of life on that night.
Well, thank you, Jennifer. So, so what a beautiful evening. So we're going to make sure we all qualify for the next one. And the next day, so obviously we kicked off with lots of results. We've got this fantastic little results booklet given to us with heaps of before and afters. I know Jan's in there and lots of people we know are in there. So they're definitely encouraging people to get their product testimonies in, but they definitely want income testimonials, particularly people doing part-time. And I think, Lydia, you should definitely get your story in. They're really looking for people that are doing it part-time and, in different situations around families. So I had this great thing where all these people came out and showcased their before and afters, and then the combined weight loss was 267 kilos, and it was just really exciting the way that they did it. And then they had a real focus on, this is the year of Active World Team and the Rising Star, and basically they had 39 new Rising Stars last year, and they basically got lots and lots of people to come up and share how they got to Active World Team and qualified for the Rising Star experience. And they all had their own special table, or if they qualified for VIP seating, obviously that was there too. and Tanya Wilson, who was originally from Perth, moved to the Barossa Valley. She lost 16 kilos. She wasn't even interested in doing the business. And in fact, she wasn't even first line to Tammy Martin at the time, but her sponsors dropped out. And she said she's moved up, front line to Tammy. Tammy, and she said that Tanya Wilson's actually had the most rising star qualifiers, which was pretty amazing. So she got up and shared her story, which was really fantastic. And then a whole bunch of other people come up and they just shared different people and how they'd come into the business. And I just loved all the different backgrounds, like Susanna from Sydney, full-time lawyer, 3.5 years in Herbalife. Kate Carmody, she has from country Victoria, mum of 6, 2 years in Herbalife, and they're just sharing all their backgrounds and stories. And I think there was a really nice flow of recognition through the whole thing. I've just said there's some more coming up. Okay, so then that was all the recognition, and there was heaps of active world team coming up in the Rising Stars sharing their stories and backgrounds. I think I've got some more coming up as well, and they were all different backgrounds, young people, professional couples, mums, and I'll show you a few more coming up. So then Dan obviously came up again and spoke, and this is what Jennifer was talking about, him having his hair washed in the sink, his little car that he was saying, and how he grew up. And he said he was sleeping on the floor in a sleeping bag because he couldn't afford a bed, and where he came from, and I think probably the most inspiring thing was that obviously he built his royalty up to $5,000 a month, and then that's when the FDA, I think 1987 around there, I think Jennifer, where her boss was taken to court by the FDA and to make sure that everything was legitimate, and they had a real tough time for about 5 years, and his check went from $5,000 down to $300. And he said, how would you feel after working 3 years part-time, 5 years full-time, 8 years in the company, and your check that month was $300? And he said, how many people would have quit? How many people would have hung in there? But Mark Hughes said, keep hanging in there. It's going to happen. Stick with it. And he said it was really difficult. He said it was real dark days. But what Mark had taught him was to live off his retail and wholesale and bank his royalties. So he had been banking his royalties every month so that when there was a winter, the dark days he called them, he actually had some money to live off to help him through that tough situation. So I thought that was pretty great advice for everyone, even right now, and also shows how he's got that persistence and never give up attitude that we should all have, because how many people would stick around if it got that tough? So did you have anything to add to that, Jennifer, or Irene, or Jan?
Yeah. Well, I do. I loved everything he had to say, just every step of the way, being through those hard times. And that really is a hard time when you get, some bad publicity we didn't deserve at the time, but those people had to get that rejection, see negative stuff every day on the television, and then they were part of that.
Well, is that my internet connection or yours?
They can say they were the heroes of, defending Herbalife in those days. And, so I just loved his story, because now he's even said where the company has rung him even when he was sick, or not sick, had a really bad back and actually couldn't sort of move too well. And the company said, well, we've got a special meeting and you've got to be here. And he said to Rob Levy, well, man, I can't sit down. I'm really, I'm in a bad way. And Rob just said to him, we need you at the meeting, And so he got on a plane and he just went, and he stood up all the time and just said, I've got a bit of a crick in my back. He didn't whinge and complain, but he'd been in a really bad way. So these people, they came from nothing, worked hard, achieved things, went through their ups and down psyches of things being in ups and down financial situations, find themselves so valuable to the company. And then it's good to know that there's people up there who do know the company so well, and they're always going to fight for the distributors' rights, because they were there with Mark Hughes. Those who were there with Mark Hughes know what Mark wanted. They're clones of Mark, they're children of Mark, they're offsprings. And, they will always stand up for the rights of the distributors all the time. So, I'm just so pleased. I'd love to see Dan keep coming out. And furthermore, I actually loved it when he actually said to the guys in the end, get some pride in your country and work harder and build it beyond, what they're doing now, 2 million a month, because, between us is pretty bad. We need to start saying, we've got all this, we've got the ability. We saw all those foreigners, when I say foreigners, sorry for the wrong word, anyone, but we saw the new migrants coming to Australia. We saw Koreans on the stage. Now we saw the Indian lady on the stage. In the audience, you're seeing so many people from different countries, and they're so used to selling. They never take no for an answer. They don't feel upset about going and presenting the story, and so we need to learn from those people. Maybe, as Dan said, we need to get a mentor, to mentor us. And maybe we've got to go out and get a mentor of one of these people from countries where every day is selling. So they will go up and sell to anyone. So if we're scared to go and talk to someone, let's go and find a Korean. Let's get a Korean in our business. Let's get an Indian in our business, and and start walking around with them. Maybe they'll teach us a thing or two. But I was actually thinking, since the Kims have got the biggest business in Korea and a chairman's club, founders club, I've got a feeling if we don't start moving, we'll have some more Koreans that'll be in chairman's club in Australia. So we better start moving.
Definitely. Well, it was very inspiring. So I'll just see what the next slide is, just to see. Thank you for sharing. So Dr. Dana came up again. So for day 2, we actually got her trained by her 3 times, which is fantastic. So I just put her slide here on her background. Like you said, she works with a lot of elite professional athletes, and she really was passionate about helping people, but she just felt like whatever she was doing wasn't in alignment. So she loves working with Herbalife Nutrition because she feels she can help people the way they need to be helped, and everything, the company's in alignment with her values and beliefs and her passion. So I thought that was really cool. And then our purpose, making the world healthier and happier, and there's certainly a lot of healthy and happy people there in that 1,600 people in the room. And it's interesting when she asked everyone who thinks they're an elite athlete to put up their hand, and few people put up their hand. And then she said who is actually active on a regular basis, and pretty much almost the whole room put up their hand, whether it was gardening or playing with the kids or going for a workout or doing something like that. I felt that was quite amazing when you looked around the room, how many people had their hand up. How cool is that? And very, showing that we want to lead by example, that there is the distributed difference, that we do care about people. Like, they're not just buying a product. In fact, they're not buying a product, they're buying results. That's what we're selling. We sell results, not a product. And we stick with them the whole way, and I think that's pretty good. And I also love this here where they talked about the cellular level. I did feel like that had kind of dropped out a little bit of some of the presentations, and I feel so strong about cellular nutrition and getting into the cellular level. I loved seeing this in the slides, because I feel like that's our real point of difference as well, that we actually get nutrition to the cells, and the seed to feed as well, that they've got over 70% of the ingredients that they grow themselves, and make sure that they're of the highest quality. So that was really cool. And I'm just going to click on to, I think there's one more. And so she had some really practical information. I'd love to get my hands on these slides, Jennifer, just so you know. Just putting that out there. About the excesses and deficiencies, just really simple stuff. Just step by step, showing how to eat protein throughout the day, and the equation for delivering optimal nutrition. She really said, if you work out, anyone that's into sports nutrition and working out, that nutrition and the workout actually go hand in hand. They're not separate, and it basically starts before the workout. So the pre-workout, the healthy breakfast is the beginning of the workout, and then it doesn't finish until they have the recovery nutrition. And even in the evening, having some Rose Guard and Dong Quai and other products and Formula 2 multivitamin complex to help with the antioxidants and recovery throughout the night when you sleep. So she had, I just loved it. It was like a whole 24 hours, and obviously that's the 24-hour athlete concept, that everyone needs sports nutrition. They all go hand in hand. The H24 and our standard Formula 1 and Select and everything all go together, and we should all be using it. So I just love that. I know you had some notes written down. Was there anything that you wanted to share relating to Dr. Dana?
Yeah, well, she did say also that more people are attending gyms but the obesity percentage is still increasing, and it's not going to happen unless they incorporate good quality nutrition. And lifestyle and casual users, there is a massive market for people out there, people who are doing just casual exercise, or you know, she said, when you're pushing your body, and this was something, because I'm a gardener, and you know, and so for me, she said, when you're pushing your body, sweating, then you need sports nutrition. I never thought of that. I just use the conventional shakes, and she said, if your heart rate is up, then you need good nutrition, so you must replenish. So I have to start incorporating different aspects of the program, of the products now, and I'm really curious to see how my body will respond.
Yep.
Well, and the other thing she said was that she talked about complete soy and all of that. I really like that as well, where she explained again the Formula One. It has complete soy, and she went through that as well. I found that very good.
Yes, and interesting enough, one of my VIPs has just got started back again, and she's had a new customer who came to the kickoff, Karen, and Karen messaged Kate this morning as I'm driving on before Fit Club. I'm messaging her back. She goes, "Oh, Karen said she can't take the products because she doesn't want to have soy." And I said, "Look, it's no problems, Kate." And she said, "I've never heard of that before." So I called her and she said, "No problems. Let her know it's not a problem. She's coming in tomorrow. Karen is not going to see her face to face." I said, "Look, just letting you know," and I'm not going to get too technical, but Herbalife, yeah, they produce their own soy, and it's soy protein isolate. It has nothing to do with interfering with hormones. So, but I'm going to have a chat with her, and if she really doesn't want to take the Formula 1, it's not a problem because there's Formula 1 Select. But, you know, I said, I just want to put her straight that Formula 1 is not going to interfere with her hormones. Otherwise, all our hormones will be out of whack, and they're not. We've been taking it for 25 plus years. So I just thought it was very interesting, that came up, and we know about what such good quality our nutrition is, and that it's, soy protein isolate is one of the best proteins you can possibly have in your body. So that's okay. It'll be an interesting conversation with Karen tomorrow, and I think Dana was about building confidence, us having full confidence in the products, knowing that the best quality, that Herbalife's there, putting so much research and technology and testing and making sure that the best they possibly. We don't have to worry about that. It's all done for us. We just have to help people through their journey. That's our job. So I thought that was really interesting. So that I'll let you know how that went tomorrow.
Yes.
So the party, the circus-inspired party, it was pretty amazing looking venue when you walk in. Jennifer was already in there in her lion tamer's outfit, and it was great just to walk in and see this beautiful circus tent inspired venue with music and lots of props, and there was people on stilts and juggling, and there was a band, and I was just so many things. It was quite amazing. So here's some of the photos from the party. So here's the band, and everyone really got into it. I think she quite enjoyed having the Herbalife crowd to sing along with her, because everyone's quite interactive and really got into the spirit of it. Maureen was there. Lindy was very nice and let me do face painting on her. Might have gone slightly overboard, but that's okay.
It looked amazing.
So here's Jennifer doing her lion tamer with her cute little lion that she's got there, and she looks quite sexy in her tall boots there. I thought. Con's got an excellent photo. I love this photo of Con so much with the whip. Obviously, he was there to tame you. The ringmaster was there to tame his kitty cat Tiger Girl. I'm assuming. I've got some other ones as well. So this was everyone dancing. And then we've got Coral and Michael and Jan. Jan's looking very colourful in her rainbow socks.
Yes.
And Jennifer's making sure she's taking her lion everywhere with her. This was Philippa Martin, I think. And I saw her outside. There was heaps of mime kind of artist clowns. There was lots of clowns. So, yeah, it was such a great venue. The music was great. And I just thought it was a really nice way to, just unwind and catch up with everyone and have a bit of fun. So did anyone want to share what they thought of the party? I'm just checking to see whether Coral's... Can you talk now, Coral? Are you all... You'll have to yell though.
Yeah. Okay.
Eh,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you yell.
Just-
I can absolutely hear you.
Take a shout.
Okay, I'm really yelling.
Good.
Okay, had a great time. Love catching up with Jennifer, Dan, Roger, Glenn, and the other people up there. Really great night.
Yeah, well, it's good. Yeah, I think you're doing an amazing job, and congratulations on being chosen to go and meet up with the Western Sydney Wanderers as well. We might have to do a follow-up on that one for you and interview on that for another call. I'd love to do that and see what you've been doing. I know you got great results even while you were out. You were doing a bit of prospecting, so that was really cool.
Yes, I actually got someone that texted me while I was on the plane to get my ticket. And sorry, I'm yelling. But my voice is not quite clear. And I got a text message that you get trouble with my wine shop and putting an order in, and I'm contacted the fact that in 10 minutes. And she goes, wow, thank you for contacting me so quickly. You are the first person that
Shush.
doing everything that gets me to make my product.
Excellent.
I can't hear Shelley. Can you translate?
Coral, do you reckon, Coral, can you type in the chat just what happened, just do a bit of a thing, and then I'll read it out for you? Is that okay? Just so I get all the details. Do you know how to chat? Can you type in the chat? So just see if you go, the chat's up here, so you go to more, and that says chat. Yep, that will be lovely. Okay, so did anyone else want to comment on the party?
I do want to tell you that David, the executive, the president of Asia Pacific for finances, he spoke, at the weekend. He said he had never seen a Herbalife party like that, and he was really serious. He said it was just awesome. He said, I've never actually seen a party like that, and so, I think he'll go back and say, hey, I saw a one-off in Australia. But when they mentioned it, when they were doing it on S&P, a few people said, a circus, and so they said, no, we don't really think it's going to be a great, party. And it really was. It gave people so many choices, and it was just generally like a circus is, just so much fun. And yeah, I thought it was good. I don't usually dress up because I'm too busy. This time I thought I've got to make an effort, and I was kind of glad that I did and joined in the fun, and seeing everybody's dress, it was awesome. Everybody looked so great.
Yeah, I agree. I think that there was 10 points for effort on everyone getting into the spirit of it all and just having a good time. I thought it was fantastic. So, and there was many more photos, just so you know, and I did send them all off to everyone because I tried to take a lot of photos and document the whole thing. So that was really cool. So we had a great party, and then obviously then we're on to Sunday. And even though this wasn't the first thing that happened for the morning, I just wanted to acknowledge what an amazing job Jennifer did on recognising the Herbalife Nutrition Foundation riders. Sorry, baby. And I just love the story, the way you told the story, included everyone and recognised everyone. I thought it was pretty cool. And I also love the way you just kept telling to everyone we're heroes, and not all heroes wear capes, some ride bikes, and the support crew as well. So it was really fantastic. I think you did a great job. So did you want to add anything to this, Jennifer?
Oh, I have to admit, I love doing it myself. I feel like if I do something in my own way, that's great from my point of view, because I am a nervous starter, and I always hate it when I first get up there because they give you all these rules and regulations what you're supposed to do, and it does my head in. So I'm always thinking, oh look, just ignore all that stuff and just get into it. So if I do that, and I felt like for myself, okay, I feel I did well in terms of I want to recognize these, so people knew the efforts that they made, and also to share the comradeship. And I really do have to tell you, if you want to volunteer to go, it is a huge amount of fun, and a lot of laughter and everything I described there, especially about Sharon, getting around sort of forever. Like, she never stopped talking, she never stopped giving commands, she never stopped organizing, and it's amazing. They do everything for safety. It's an amazing military maneuver, and you'd be very, very impressed, as well as have a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, I had a thought, I had an idea, see what you think, Jennifer, but maybe what they could do is they could get people next year to sponsor a kilometre. If it's like 840 kilometres, maybe people could come in and sponsor a kilometre.
Yes.
Or a bike or a spoke or whatever, like something like that. I thought that might be a good one to do as well, and or even a rider, and that might be a good way to get to know everyone. So there might be a few things that you could do, and maybe they can get something at the end as a memento for sponsoring or something. So anyway, I just thought that might be something.
It's good. We're always trying to think of things at the time about how to raise money, and and honestly, I do have to tell you, I don't know if I did mention it on the stage, but there's some amazing distributors. And there was a guy who was on the ride last year. I can't remember what I said on the stage, but there's a guy who was on the ride last year and didn't ride this year. And I don't know if he's in from Western Australia. I'll have to find out more about him. But from last year to this year, he has donated $12,000. And I don't think he's like anything. I've never heard of him before, Get Team, Millionaire Team, whatever. But he does have a good job in Western Australia, and who knows if he got finances elsewhere. But he wasn't even there, and he still kept, every time he'd hear about something that happened at the event, he'd put in some more money. And it's just quite amazing when you see these people so willing, to find some way, to contribute. It makes you feel just, so, I don't know what's the word, amazed and thankful that we're in this company, where people so willingly want to get in and do what they can. If it's not money, do whatever they can. I think we're very blessed in this country, but blessed to be in Herbalife, because we've all learned such a lot.
Absolutely. Well, you did an amazing job. So I actually filmed a bit of it too, just so you know. So I'll try and find a way of getting that to you. I might have to put it on a USB because I'm not quite sure how to send it through.
Sometimes I wonder what I've said afterwards too, excepting I thought, well, if I'm laughing, it must be okay. I can see they're laughing, and that's all I wanted, to get some interaction.
Yeah, it was wonderful. So thank you, Jennifer, for doing that, and well done to the Herbalife Nutrition crew. So far in the whole time, years they've been doing it, they've raised over 250,000. So that's really fantastic. So
350,000, 350.
Oh, okay.
And they're hoping to make to the 150,000 to make it 500,000 at this. So we've got till the end of the month. So who knows if
Yep. Sorry, I'll update that. 250 is pretty amazing. So 350 is even more amazing. So that's fantastic. So these are the ones you were talking about, Jennifer. So
yes.
So basically what I did, I was taking a photo, then I was writing down as I was speaking, but then I was adding all the little bloop on these photos as I was going along. So I was quite busy writing photo all these things all the same time, because I really wanted to document the type of people they had. And I just love this. Like this lady here, she'd escaped from North Korea, and I'm pretty sure she said they were starving. She had malnutrition when she arrived in Australia. Then because they had so much food in Australia, she became overweight, and that she'd had a pretty horrible thing where her family had been killed, and she only had $700 in the bank. Rising star in 4 months, and she actually had $13,000 in retail after 6 months in the business, which is pretty amazing. This guy here was really funny. So he's a pastor, and he lost 12 kilos, active world team, loves helping the Aboriginal community. He has a real vision for that, which is great to hear. This lady here works really hard in the construction business, active world team in 8 months. This lady is 63 years of age in the construction business. Obviously, a lot of these know each other. Lost 9.3 kilos, rising star in 4 months. And she said there's no, the thing she loved about Herbalife is no retirement. And I just love that because I know that I've heard that so much with Jan and Irene and Jennifer and Rosemary. You know, you don't want to retire. You love what you do. You know, it's you know, like Dan Waldron said, he doesn't really see it as work. Yes, it can be mentally tough sometimes when things come up, but it's not physically hard work. So I just loved all the stories and the fact that they're from so many different backgrounds, different ages, and it didn't matter. You know, it's really, really inspiring to see the whole spectrum of different age groups and personalities and backgrounds are all doing well. So that was really cool.
Shelley, can I just say, we were all saying in the front, you know, we need a poor Mexican next, and then it was like, we need a Korean, you know, we need an Indian. So if that works for them, maybe you've got to go to all the, as I said, the Indian restaurants. And the
I was thinking that, Ray. I was definitely thinking that. I'm like, who do I know that's Korean? I was going through I must know someone. So, and Dan Waldron, you know, told that story too about that he was wanted to get into the Latino business, and he spent, you know, a whole year and a half doing meetings and hiring a thing at the hotel, like a room at the hotel to do meetings and running ads, and he was paying someone to do 150,000 flyers a month, and he did that, and he really didn't have much to show for it at the end of all that time. And then his cleaner quit, who was always complaining about how messy the house was. He goes, but that's your job. You're supposed to clean the house. That's what I pay you for. And so his wife would get all stressed and tidy up the house the night before for the cleaner. And then she just complained one too many times. He said, you know what, you're fired. And then this lady was putting a flyer up for cleaners, and the lady came back and said, well, I guess this is your new cleaner. And he pitched her, and was it Maria? Is that her name?
Yeah, I think it was Maria. Yeah.
And so she actually had people working for her, and he just sat her down and said, do you want to clean my house or do you want to make some money? And they had a chat, signed her up, and she was President's team within so many years, like very short amount of time, and just it was quite amazing how all that story happened. So yes, I thought that's interesting. That, you know, just if you've got a project or an idea, you gotta go for that, because sometimes it freshens things up rather than going, I'm just going to talk to everyone. You might go, okay, I'm going to go looking for mums, or I'm going to go to all the Indian restaurants and get some Indian business, or whatever it is. It gives you a project and something to focus on. Sometimes that makes it more fun, and if that's what you need to get out there and talk to people, just do it. Yes. So we got to meet corporate. So I know Shobi's obviously very quiet sometimes in the background. So this is Shobi-Ann King. I actually had a slide that had her thing on. I don't know where that went, but anyway. So Shobi heads the Southeast Asia division, and obviously works tirelessly, been in the company for over 20 years. She said these are her two influencers, Mark Hughes and Jim Rowan, and she brought up all the corporate and acknowledged them and got them to share. It was great, and I just love that they're working on faster delivery time, because we know in Queensland how long it can take to get products. It can take 5 days or more. So it's been so great to have these faster delivery times with no extra cost to the distributor. How cool is that? So I'm a bit excited.
You're going to fly instead of trucking.
Yeah, how cool is that? Cool. So did anyone want to comment on the corporate, anyone that stood out or something to do with corporate?
Yeah.
Just, I think we're very, very lucky to have the corporate that we do have. When you visit other countries, if you've been to an extravaganza or something like that, you go to the warehouses, they're all fantastic and lovely and everything, but I tell you what, they don't have the service that we've got here in Australia. So we really are very appreciative of what the corporate side does do for us. I know sometimes we might have a bit of a whinge or a moan if something doesn't go right, but I tell you what, they're far superior to anywhere else in the world.
Absolutely.
Maybe apart from...
I thought it was great them introducing the corporate because there is, at times a bit of frustration. You think, corporate, they don't think like us distributors, etc. But I'm sure that they actually do their best to try to think like distributors, but they have their job. But they do, try to come together, with us. And I thought it was good them bringing the people out so you got to know some stuff about them. And the funny thing about it is they asked people to tell something about themselves, and I already knew that Elizabeth actually loved that what did they call it, that TV, what do they call that TV?
Reality TV.
Reality TV. And when we talked about it once before, I'm thinking, really, I can't believe you said that. You've got this high-powered job. But, you know, everybody likes something different. And, yeah, so she was up there on stage saying, well, my hobby is cooking and reality TV, you know. But I'm not going to say anything, and I might be perfectly wrong, but if one had a little bit of knowledge, you would have seen, you know, one of our executives up there looking like he had more muscles and getting more dressed up. I'm wondering if that means something for the future.
Yep.
You know.
Oh, no.
Yep. So well, it was pretty impressive to have them all come up and get acknowledged as well, because we certainly appreciate what we've got in Australia. I'm going to read your thing out soon, Coral. I'll just quickly stick. So Dr. Dana came up again and she went through more of a nutrition training, which I felt was great. So she had these great slides on, again, talking about, you know, the excellence in science. You know, obviously the obesity was increasing and not going backwards. That we actually need fats and carbohydrates and protein. Like, we should never just cut out carbohydrates. We actually need good quality ones. And it was really interesting. And she broke it all down into fiber, being, like you said, being hydrated, good fats and oils, protein, what carbs were, phytonutrients, macro and micronutrients, but not in a complicated way. It was actually really simple to understand, and I quite enjoyed the way she just broke down the protein and everything. It was really, really interesting. And then she went through the last day basically talking about protein for aging, protein for weight loss, and protein for muscle building. So yes, you've got all your fitness people, yes, you've got people who want to lose weight, but this one here, you know, our population is, you know, we're getting older but not necessarily living better. And she was saying that what happens is people, you know, that as they get older, their muscle mass drops, their body gets weaker, and then they have falls. So we just imagine in that aging population, we could help them build their muscle mass to have stronger bodies, be more independent for longer. How amazing would that be? I really felt strong about this one. I love all this as well, but this one I feel is something that there's something for everybody. It was quite amazing. So did anyone want to add? Irene, did you want to add anything about Dr. Dana?
No, I think I've gone through. I found that, I just found that her explanations of the actual needs for the aging was very, very clear. And I found too that for myself, I never knew that it was lack of muscle that caused elderly people, and I'm included in that, to fall.
Yep.
I always thought it was just, you know, being careless.
Yep.
So that's put me in a place to think about things like that now. And, you know, because I am at that age, so I do take protein, and I think that helps. And you know, for the falls that I've had, nothing broke. So with the extra cal, and I take 2-3 times a day, I think that has actually helped as well. But I think it's an area, Shelley, where even young people need to look at the potential of business there.
Yep.
Because
parents and grandparents. So.
Yes, and we I think the aging need help, because every day we hear in the news about how horrendous the homes are, and the abuse and the neglect. So if you can keep your loved grandma and grandpa healthy and strong, and you have been given that gift, you really should. And I think you have a duty of care to pass it on.
Yep. Yeah, I felt really strong. Like I caught up with one of my best friends afterwards. She picked me up from the exhibition centre, and took me to the airport, and we caught up for an hour or so, which was lovely. And she's got Graves' disease, which she has trouble putting on weight and muscle. And I just talked to her about it after listening to this. And I said, Nikki, I really feel like, you know, she actually gained some weight on Herbalife, and when I first met her, and got over it for a while, but I just really feel that she could do it. So I'm going to talk to her, and I just got my brother on a cellular nutrition program. I'm a bit excited, so I'm posting that off tomorrow. So I'm excited about him starting on cellular nutrition and helping him with his high blood pressure. So I thought that was, you know, I'm just, you know, excited about to help everybody, because this you know, is something we know is for every single person. Everybody needs protein.
Shelley,
yeah.
what I think it would be good, I had heard it mentioned a few times after she spoke, even the guys at the front, some of them were saying, I wonder why they don't get her to put some small clips of video, on the Herbalife website, just as we've got our, training, like sports, exercise videos. They've got, the new, after mum, new mum videos for sports, etc. Now, if you guys all wrote in and said, look, it was so amazing, could we have some clips, just small clips of what you talked about, protein for the aging, protein for weight loss, but especially specific things like for the aging, and protein for building muscles, because people don't always remember everything that she trained on. But if we could have some small clips, if you guys write in and ask for the things that you see, and other people write in and ask, that motivates corporate, to think about, wow, that's a good idea, I'll put it up. Otherwise, they've got so much to do, they don't think about it. If one person makes a suggestion, it's not likely to happen. But when 10, 15, 50 make a suggestion, they're saying, wow, yes, we should do this, let's get going with it, And if they write back and say, yeah, we're thinking about it, make sure you follow them up and say in a month's time, how's it going,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think, this is for everybody, and we can have little snippets of, and it's just educational. It's just like the ones we've had for the weight loss challenges and all sorts of things. Fitness, we should be able to tie it all in together, because like Dana said, they're not separate, they go together. And so, I definitely feel strong about that. I was just, thank you, Jennifer, I was just reading Coral's message. So she said that basically while she was at the event, she got someone come through a Go Herbalife website, and they couldn't actually place the order. There must have been a little glitch with the system. So she got back to us straight away and did the order in her hotel room, and the lady placed a $551 order. And so if she hadn't got back to that person, then that might not have happened. So and now, you've got the opportunity to change her life with the nutrition, and so that's fantastic, Coral. So, and well done for getting onto it, because sometimes, we can get busy and things happen, but sometimes just getting onto it straight away can make all the difference in the world. So thank you for sharing that. That's amazing.
It's true.
Okay, so our next slides. So we had some more recognition, obviously, for Get 2,500, Millionaire Team. These were just a couple I thought here. That this one was excellent. So a lot of the guys had interpreters, the Korean guys, and so he's been in the Herbalife 5 years part-time. He always talks to 10 people a day, but his friends told him not to join Herbalife because he doesn't speak English. So how amazing if what would happen if he didn't get started. And now he's got 6 rising stars and 2 Get team members in his business. Imagine if he listened to his friends. So, sometimes people say things because they care, but you've also got to make sure that you do what feels right for you. And especially when opportunity presents itself. So just remember there's going to be people you're talking to when you go out and about. Like I went and did walk and talks today, just so you know, I've actually committed to doing walk and talks every single day. So I picked some businesses I haven't been into before, and I'm just going to get out there and connect with the community and just keep talking and talking and talking. I love this lady, lots of personality. I see her on the Tab Team group, and she's does consistently high volumes. So she's been in the business 4.5 years. She's got a 4-year-old. She's become a Millionaire Team member in 4.5 years. And she said the high volume should be your fuel and create leaders. So she was just wonderful. I just loved her energy and everything. So she's a nurse background. So I thought that was really fantastic. She did this great dance on stage. So that was great seeing her, hearing her story, because I'd seen her on one of the Tab Team groups, but I didn't actually know who she was. Obviously, there was recognition for Wayne Levy for going Millionaire Team 7,500, and Phil Hayden and Sophie Derek, she did the recognition, which was great. So they did the intro of me, and they had like different MCs throughout the day. So I really liked these guys because they shared their product results as well. And I do quite like Phil Hayden. He's very much down to earth and quite, doesn't mince his words, but I think that he sees things differently. I like the way that he looks at people, and I know he's very much, Jennifer loves you, like he's very protective of you for some reason, and very just, you know, really, you know, speaks very highly of you, just so you know. So I just love that he's been able to, you know, overcome cancer, and even though he says that's not typical, but this is what's happened for him. He's got great health now. He's nice and trim. He took his whole family to the Seychelles for a month's holiday and had this amazing time with his family, and I'm sure he'll be president's team real soon. And Sophie's obviously just had another baby, and she just had a fantastic product result, and it was nice. So she's in Perth, and Phil's in Ballarat or Melbourne, I think, in that area. And yeah, it's just great seeing these people that you see on social media a lot, seeing them in person and sharing their stories. Then we had some promotions come out. So these, make sure you have a look on your emails or go to myherbalife.com.au. So this is all ties in with the sports nutrition. And remember, the sports nutrition industry is the fastest growing into. It's faster than weight loss, and it's growing fast in Australia. You really want to capitalize on this. So Herbalife knows this. They've got these 2 great promotions where if you order 2 CR7 drives, you get a bottle. And if you get order a whole sports nutrition program, so they can't go and order it in singles, they have to order the actual pack online. So make sure if you've got your VIPs ordering those and your members that they understand how to do that. They'll get the bottle and the shaker, which I love this shaker. It's one of my favorites. So this is a fantastic promotion. So make sure you really take advantage of it and let people know about it. So I've just got like a whole display of the 24 and with some brochures and with these flyers, so that at Fit Club or wherever I'm going, I can actually show people what it looks like, and they can take a flyer, and then if they want to order, they can do that. So I thought that was really cool. I'll just go through some of the promotions, and then we'll finish off with any bits and pieces at the end. We've got obviously the Hong Kong extravaganza coming up in June. The guest speakers here, which is Jonathan and Isabel. They created 4 presidents team in 1 year. They've been in the business 6 years in a chairman's club, so that's pretty cool. Plus we've got Dr. Luigi Grattan as well training. They've got the North American extravaganza coming up in July, and obviously the Herbalife Vacation. They've announced the hotel and everything, so you can go onto the website and see that. So that's really fantastic. So, you know, these are the venues you want to go to. Start Googling and getting some visuals up. Like Jan says, you've got to visualize yourself there, sitting at VIP seating, you know, qualifying for everything, and really see yourself there, because that's all part of it. You know, write the goal down, read it, have it there in front of you, but make sure you get that visualization happening every single day. So Dan Waldron came up at the end and finished off, which I thought was really great. And these were just some of the ones that he, obviously this was from day one, but he just did some great personal development training from Napoleon Hill, but also from his own personal experience. And I thought he was very down to earth, very real. And he said, the reason why I'm teaching this stuff is because I made lots of mistakes. I'm not perfect. I was impatient, and I was probably too arrogant or too hard on some people. He said, so I've learned to be more patient and to, you know, look at where people are, but also to be strong. And I loved the way he presented. I think I've got it here. He did the napkin presentation in like 10 minutes. It was awesome. How the 3 parts to promotion, the difference between a drifter and a non-drifter, obviously with obviously looking for those leadership qualities. And I loved everything that he presented on just being the best you can be, and leading by example, and don't complain. He said usually the people that are complaining, they just need to go out and recruit and do some business and get busy, and then they won't be so busy complaining. So I really loved all of that. So just to wrap up, Irene, what was one of your real highlights from the event?
Oh, one of my real highlights, I think I know it sounds really corny, but the inspiration and the confidence that I got from attending the training, as well as a certain amount of pride that I am, and humbled that I'm part of such an amazing company. I think that's what I got. I probably needed it, and I think everybody who attends the trainings always comes out and they've got what they needed to move forward. And I'm very, very grateful that we've attended, and I can't remember one spectacular that I haven't attended with Con, and I continue to attend, because it's the trainings, it's the STSs, and then the end is like just the umbrella over it all is the extravaganza, where you get to meet old friends, make new friends, learn new things, hear again the things you've forgotten. And that to me was just awesome.
Well, thank you, Irene. That's lovely. Jan, what was your highlight? I think Jan's, is your internet better than Jan? I can have, so we'll go.
Well, basically, I think.
Just try again.
You're right. Such a privilege of Mark and Jim Rowan, and there were times when he was speaking, if you closed your eyes, you would think that Mark Hughes was in the room. It was just unbelievable, very, very emotional. He was very emotional. I felt that his strength,
I think your internet's cutting out a little bit, Jan.
his pattern, I think that, I'm sorry?
I think your internet's
Can
just
you hear
cutting in and out a little bit.
Him? Me? Okay. Okay. Well, sadly, we might see him again, because more people that weren't there, you know, if they can have the value of what he has to say, is unbelievable. He really is fantastic.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jan. That was lovely seeing you at the event as well. Coral, do you reckon if you speak loudly, we'll hear what your highlight was? I'll just unmute you. Well, I think you're muted. Just unmute yourself.
Okay. My highlight was face to face.
You might need to yell a bit louder. I can't hear you very well. Sorry.
Okay. It boils down to teamwork, work and face to face.
Cool. Thank you. And it was great seeing you and Michael there. So that was fantastic. You look great at the party too, mind you. That was cool. And Jennifer, what was your highlight for the whole? I'm sure it'd be hard to pick one.
I think my highlight was just that Dan was there, and I see him as one of the the hatchlings of Mark Hughes, the golden egg. Having been there all those years ago and seeing Mark Hughes and seeing that there's nothing like Mark Hughes' way. The only way is to talk to 10 people a day, go out and talk to people, go out and do it. Do it with urgency. Love doing it. Use the products, and just learn along the way. Everything that Tim, Rowan, and Mark Hughes, have said, that's basically what he trained on. And, I just feel if we just heard that over and over again, if we do it every day, go to YouTube, wherever, and start listening to Mark Hughes and Tim Rowan, and then just go out and maybe do some of the things that we did in the beginning. Like Gary and I actually were saying to Jan, the way we built our business was with ads and flyers. People would say today, oh, well, ads are expensive and ads don't work. Well, I think there's still a lot of people look at newspapers for a job. And so, sometimes I'm thinking to myself, I've got to move myself along and stop talking, and start doing what I used to do that I'm familiar with. And maybe we've got to go back to our roots, all of us, and do, what we did in the very beginning with enthusiasm, and you get that by continuing to listen to my music.
Thank you, Jennifer. And yes, it was amazing. But look, this was just a snippet of, it wasn't that there's so much more we could cover. So what I would encourage everyone to do is in the Challenge Yourself Daily, or if you want to PM or email it to me, put a couple of your favorite photos on there if you can, and just maybe some, a bit about what you got out of it. Anything you'd like to add, please do that in Challenge Yourself Daily, or email it if you prefer. I just wanted to let you know, Lindy messaged me because she wasn't able to be on the call tonight. So she was my roommate. I shared with her after she was looking for the roomie. So that was really nice to get to know her and meet her in person. We had some great chats and a lot of fun. So she said, when you get a moment, let's have what she said. I won't be able to get on the call, but I want to let you know that I I've gone out in the community with gusto. I've handed out business cards like lollies, and I'm wearing my badge. I didn't wear a badge, was embarrassed. And I want to be VIP for Hong Kong and active world team, so I'm going to have to shake my booty. So I need to get cracking. Thanks for being, you're a great bunkie. So I thought that was really cool, and I helped her with her before and after photos side by side. We did a bit of that, and it was, yeah, it was really great to get to know Lindsay, and just want to let you know what she's doing and what she got out of it. And you know what, we need to do what Dan said. We've got to, let's go out and really make an impact, you know. And I just loved how strong he was, you know, when someone said, you know, oh, what do you think? Oh, I don't know. He goes, what don't you know? You know, and he said, you don't have to be rude or blunt, but you come with confidence that we've got a company that's doing $21 million a day, and that, you know, the impact that we're having. And he said, be really strong. If someone comes through the income, talk to them about the income and show people don't assume they know how to go supervisor. And of course, we're going to do marketing plan next week, because of course this is so important. How do you qualify for everything? And all the different levels, so you know, and your new people know, and your existing people don't assume they know everything. They might not. If you want to know how to do this napkin presentation, you can look it up on YouTube. There's a few people doing it, and it's quite a good way of presenting the marketing plan in a nice, quick way, that it takes no more than 20 minutes from start to finish when they do it on a call. You can do it one-on-one. You can do it in a group. So, you know, you just need to start presenting the business, and it is an amazing business, and get strong on it. And what an amazing opportunity we have. And like I said, go to 3 million, go to $5 million a month, just here in Australia, and help kick off New Zealand as well. They need it too, and really make an impact, okay? And remember, we've got a mission, and our purpose and our why is stronger than any excuses, and we can really make a difference if we all lock arms and do it together.
Shelley, and before you go, I didn't know if you were going to close soon. Perhaps you were going to do promotions, but I wanted to make sure that you talk to everybody about who do they know in the Gold Coast, because Wednesday night at the Sheraton, Christy and company are going to have Rhonda Hart, who's also the speaker, you know, at the STS up here in Brisbane on Saturday. She's also going to do Wednesday night at the Sheraton. So really, you know, after what we just saw, just go around and ask, who do you know? Just do the job, do the task, you know, and you just don't know until you actually put out and ask people, you know, and get people there to see Rhonda, because she is an amazing troop in itself. As many people know, she lost her son to a brain tumour. She's had cancer herself. Her husband rode in the bike ride last year. What an amazing gentleman, soft man that he is. And, you know, and yet they just love their herbal life, you know, so willing to come up here. And she, in recent months, hasn't been well, you know, and going to be at the Sheraton and at the STS. You know, these are people you need to hear from, because, you know, they are really, really good distributors, and they've got a lot to offer.
Absolutely. So that, all those details, and I will do a full promotions. I've actually got it. So I was going to add the extra ones on and do a little recording and put it out into the group, and I'll email it to you. So I've got one that's got all the promotions on it. Remember, Valentine's Day is coming up too, so make sure you let people know they can buy from your store for Valentine's Day. They're spending money anyway, might as well buy it from you. Yes, they've got the Gold Coast meetings, and they're all on Queensland STS and other events on that Facebook page. Plus, you can go to brisbanests.com and get all the flyers and everything for the STS coming up. And then obviously there's an HOM on the Gold Coast too. There's a whole range of things that you need to plug into your local community. You need to create. If you don't have one, create it. And also know that it's not just happening in your local area, but everywhere. So who do you know in those other areas that you can invite people to? Start thinking outside the square, and you can have stuff going on all over the world, like Jennifer and Irene and everyone has on the call, and you can have that too. So I will update those promotions, but just remember Valentine's Day, go back to all your clients, let them know they can buy the skin, they can buy protein bars, they don't need a box of chocolates, they can just buy protein bars, and help these people get a result, help them get that protein and good quality of nutrition into their bodies, and get really passionate about it. There was something else. So this Wednesday is also my 28th anniversary in Herbalife, so I'll do a little post about that. So that's really cool. And on Sunday I turned 48.
Oh wow!
So I thought that was really cool. It's like my favourite week in February is Herbie anniversary and birthday time. So I just wanted to thank everyone. I want to thank Jennifer for always helping everything in the background. You always do so much. You're so generous. So I just appreciate everything. And my mastermind group that's been growing. We want more leaders on these calls so that we can all work in together. No matter what line we're in, it doesn't matter, does it? We're all in the same family.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And we want you to move to the next level. So make all that happen this year. This is your year, everyone. So just go for it. And we're all here to help each other. If you ever need me, want to need help with a call, I'm always happy to do that, just like any of you would do for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to convert this. I'm going to go and put the girls to bed because I'm sure they're waiting. And I will finish recording now. And then I'll send the recording out on the call and I'll email it to you as well.
And I'll put my doggy family to bed. They're all here.
I can hear them.
And one's sort of snoring and one's sleeping and one had his eye out this week. So he's got a baby being looked after, But they're so cute. I have to keep saying, be quiet, If you wonder what I'm doing down here, it's the dogs.
Thank you for being patient, everyone. I'm sorry about the technology thing, but I appreciate you being on the call a bit later tonight. So I hope you got a lot out of it, especially the people who weren't able to come. I hope you're inspired. Listen to the recording again, and I'm going to put some other slides together too because I'll go through all my notes and everything. So stay tuned for that as well.
Okay, thank you, Shelley, for all your hard work.
My pleasure. I love it.
And
I love you all.
thanks to you all. Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night. Bye, everyone.